we have Mr. Doug Walk from FC Birmingham. Uh, a good long time we've been interacting with you here in the Georgia Conference, and it's good to have you here on the podcast. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, for some people, a lot of people that have been following the Georgia Conference, they know about you, they know about FC Birmingham, but there might be some new ones here. Can you give us kind of a summary of your role with the club and a little background on FC Birmingham here in the Georgia Conference?
So to make it short, I'm everything. No, I'm just kidding.
We already know that. That's a given.
No, so I'm the owner and founder of FC Birmingham. Founded, really, it started off as a youth club back in 2018, 2019. My plan was to always had a semi-pro or the professional element at some point, right? But yeah, so pretty much I'm the owner. I do some everything, man. I go from riding on lawnmowers to putting out flags and all types of things.
Oh yeah, I mean, even this off season, we've had a lot of discussion about the venues, and that's
Mhm.
a challenge for teams at this level, finding
Oh yeah,
appropriate venues and the trouble you've had to go through, and the work you've had to do. So it really is amazing to see how difficult it is to run a club at
yeah.
this level. And it's a pro development league, and just looking at what you've done recently, um, how do you feel that the UPSL has helped your individual players as far as preparation, like um, transitioning from an amateur type of atmosphere to a more professional atmosphere? Can you talk on that a little bit?
Yeah, UPSL has been great. Really, it's a breeding ground to so people can know if this is something they really want to do. Um, they realize it's a grind. I mean, and we only train 3 nights a week. I mean, imagine we did five like most professional clubs do. Um, so it's a grind, and it takes a lot of mental mental strength and things of that nature for them. UPSL, I mean, the competition on the field has always been fantastic, and so it really helps them. It really helps the players to see what they really are. It helps the coaches, believe it or not, it's the coaches. I mean, we've had a couple of coaches in our short stint where they realize this is not for them, or maybe it moves a little bit faster, or there's a lot more to it than what they expected. So UPSL has definitely been a great experience for us, and especially for my city because it's not many. I think we're pretty much the only club in Birmingham that plays on this level outside of Birmingham Legion, who plays USL, but USL Championship. Other than that, I mean, this is a harsh reality for some people. So
Yeah, it's got to be something else to juggle all the responsibilities that, like we alluded to earlier. You have to pick your coaches appropriately for this level. Some have different
mhm,
expectations. You've had a number of different coaches with a number of different experiences to
mhm,
bring to the club. I'm sure there's a lot of positive things have come from that, but from and that's just personnel. That's player
yep,
personnel, coach personnel, but then there's also the competition. And so,
yeah,
you're having to worry about the type of player getting them going on a professional path, but you're also trying to compete against these
yeah,
teams that you talked about. With the competition level is really really high. And I know that from the spring 2023, finished fourth, got into
yep.
the playoffs. Unfortunately, had lost in the first round, narrow defeat to Club the Strongest. And last season, a little bit of dip, finished ninth, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I try to
you know,
forget about that.
yeah. But that just shows you the fortunes that how they can go up and down in a quick
Right.
manner. You get an injury here, a personnel problem there, coach issue here, and then that makes a difference in wins and losses. What has been, between the two seasons, what do you found been to be the biggest challenge to overcome during that time?
To be honest, I mean the competition has been is always great, but what I find to be the toughest challenge is actually internally. Our own players. I mean, we seem to sometimes we have issues internally from that standpoint. You know, you have players that's coming from all type of backgrounds, so you're having to integrate these different styles into one style. Then the coach has a certain style, so you know it's a constant battle. And then you know at this level, you have players that's in and out. You have some players, you know, that's there for the long haul. Well, most players they cycle in, cycle out for various reasons. Some may move away, some may get married, some you know whatever those reasons may be. So it's almost like college, right? Every 4 years you have a new, you know, a new class. Well, this is before the transfer portal, of course, but um, one of the biggest things. I mean, we pretty much know what the competition is going to be. We know where we need to match level wise. But again, the biggest challenge we've had is just making sure everybody within the team is on the same page.
At this level, there can be a high turnaround of players. But in addition to that, you have a new coach that's going to take
Yep,
over. Can you
we
tell
do.
us a little bit about that? You had Preston Goldfarb. He was a legend in the sport for many years. Worked well there, I believe, at Birmingham, but it got real tough there last season.
I
How
did.
has the change in the coaching staff been in the offseason so far? Is it more of a positive now, getting things together, or is it still kind of a work in progress?
It's you know, it's interesting because Gabriel is more of a player's coach in a sense, right? So the players they know he's tough,
Mhm.
but at the same time they know they'll run through a brick wall for him at the same time. So that's been good. The community is really rallying behind us a lot more this season, especially in the Latino communities. I mean, the Latin communities is man, it's a ton of support there, which is fantastic. We have a lot of Spanish speaking players, Latinos, Hispanics on our team. And so it's fantastic to see the support that's coming from there. So as far on that front, it's been great. I think with Coach Gabriel, the premier. I mean, he kind of got a taste of it right during the playoffs in Division
Right,
One,
right.
um, and I've pretty much told him. I said, "Hey, just so you understand and you know, the way you're coaching this finals and the semifinals and the quarterfinals, this is pretty much how the regular season will go in Premier. Every
Every
single game.
week.
Yeah, every single game. You know, there's no down weeks. You know, there's no down weeks at all, and he understands that, and he you know he's ready for the task. I know the guy's been doing a lot of conditioning and things of that nature. So um, so far so good. I mean, I like him. Gabriel has actually been around the club since 2021.
Right.
He started out just kind of like a team manager in a sense, but he's always been around the game. And then he came to me and said, "Hey, I was a coach. I want to get back into coaching." And then he ended up taking over the reserve team.
Speaking on that, with a few weeks to go to opening day,
Mhm.
you're looking at a lot of new players, like you said, putting a lot of players on trial. How confident are you about the squad kind of gelling together by opening day? How's that going?
Um, I think,
Lots to think
um,
about it.
yeah, it is, but I think it's going well. See, we have a lot of college players this time. Normally, we don't have that many college players, so of course, the college players are going to gravitate to each other, and then the players that played together last season are going to kind of gravitate to one another. So you know, we're still looking for that glue, and the thing is, Coach Gabriel's great at that. When he senses something like that, you know, he'll have them over to his house. They'll watch soccer. He'll cook or whatever, and he have a lot of team functions and things of that nature to start getting them to gelling. Here's the one thing: this team doesn't lack talent at all. It's plenty of talent on this team. It's just a matter of the buy-in and can they all come together, which I'm pretty sure they can.
It looks like the chemistry is starting to gel even now, even this preseason when you look at the media day and everything. It looks like you're getting things organized, and
Mhm.
that's the other thing I wanted to ask you about. You've done a lot of work with the local community there. How has that relationship with the fans been? Is that something that's growing closer, that you've seen?
Yeah, it's growing. It's kind of a slow grow in a sense. You got to keep in mind, this is the state of Alabama versus Auburn,
Yeah.
so it's so people feel like if they support the professional team, then they can't support us. Where we tell them like, look, it's two totally different leagues. I mean, we have a lot of local talent, and in all fairness, Birmingham Legion, they have to win. They have to win now. They spend a lot of money and they're professional. They have to be there. Where with us, we're more focused on the local talent, which now we're starting to get players outside of the Birmingham area. We're getting players, as far as down as Auburn and as far as north as Huntsville. So, but as far as the fans go, I mean, we have our fans. I still feel like we're in that family and friends type,
Mhm.
pretty much right there where we are now still. But we're starting to pick up some casual fans, which is always exciting.
Yeah, it always takes a little time, I'm sure. And you guys are going to be playing. You're going to be playing at Lawson Stadium there in Birmingham.
Mhm.
What can you tell me? What can you tell the fans about the game day experience? What can they expect to see when they go, as far as concessions and the atmosphere?
So you remember if you go back to what I said at the beginning of the conversation, how I'm everything, I'm also the DJ. So
Yeah, yeah, and camera operator.
yeah, scoreboard operator. So
Yeah.
it's me who you scream at. But no, so it's really good music. We really focus on the music. And unfortunately, we had an unfortunate event a couple of weeks ago. So we have a storage spot where we keep all of our food and different things like that for concessions and merchandise. Well, someone broke into it, so
Oh,
we don't have any merchandise right now. We don't have
they took the
any.
merchandise out.
They took the merchandise. They took all of our tools that we use for cook. Like we used to do, nachos with the
Right,
melted cheese
yeah.
and popcorn and all that stuff. So yeah, all that's gone now. So
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you hear that, fans. You got to get out there and support them, support the sponsors, and let's get you guys built back up because
yeah,
I work with ASMG. We've done some of your games there. It's a great atmosphere for the fans. It's very
right,
entertaining game. Like you say, it's a talented club. And the most exciting thing that's different than like, Birmingham Legion is we are a pro development league. So you're seeing future stars. You're going to see
right,
stars that now, Bustamante and different ones who are going to be playing professionally. And you can say, hey, I remember when, I
right,
saw them,
right.
develop at FC Birmingham. So, it's unfortunate to hear that about, this is the world we live in where people, take from each other for no reason. But
Yeah,
there's also the positive aspect of having a fan support who will come out and they'll invest. They'll come out and pay a ticket and get in there. And that's another thing. If fans want to come to the game, what can they do? I mean, I know you sell tickets online. You
yeah,
absolutely accept walk-ons
yeah.
to the stadium, pay at the gate. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we do charge admission. I know a lot of the clubs, maybe they're going to start doing it more. I mean, but
Yes,
we do it
it's
because
happening more.
it helps.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean we do it. It's not really a money grab per se, but we do invest all that money back to the players. We try to give them transportation so they don't have to drive the game. So we'll let them ride on the bus. I mean, and that costs, of course. So gas is
Right.
high going to the Georgia area every other weekend. So I mean, it really goes back. It truly does go back to the players. It's reinvested into them to help their experience. I mean, because being amateur, even though it's semi-professional, these players don't get paid. Um, so they don't get paid. So our approach is to try to give them everything except for the paycheck. In a sense, we want to give
Right.
them the gear. We want to make sure we put them on social media posts. We want to highlight players. We want to do. You probably saw a couple of videos we've done. We have more interviews in the background, that we haven't released yet, but we want to give them that experience, right?
Right.
But as far as that goes, I mean, it's coming into the stadium. It's always a great venue, man. We like I said, we have good music. We normally have good food, but we're working on that. So
Yeah.
uh, hopefully that comes back. We actually introduced the flags last season, which was great. I mean, it was great seeing the flags waving, I mean, even when we played in the finals with Division One, I mean, we saw
Yeah.
FCB flags waving in there in the crowd. That's always exciting, man. It's humbling to me, to be honest with you, because just knowing where I started, and you know, pretty much you and I talked before
Yeah.
we came to UPSL. You and I had a conversation, and just from that to where we are now, it's fantastic.
But Doug, I want to thank you. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'm sure you got plenty to do after this
Yeah,
interview.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
training tonight, I'm sure. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
thanks for taking
Putting
time
together
out.
goals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But thanks a lot for talking to me today. And like I say, I tell everybody we're going to be talking to you a lot more during the season as it goes on. Check on your progress, and again,
Please do.
fans. Yeah, yeah, and just as a closing, just tell the fans about how they can keep track of you on social media and different things. What social media are you on?
So we're the most active on Facebook and Instagram, which both are FC Beham. Um, that's pretty much the handle for both of them. Twitter or X, I guess is what they call it
Yeah,
now. We're not as active there. I mean, we've had some fans that reached out and said, "Hey, this is how we follow you guys." So we're gonna make an attempt to be a little bit more active there as well. So, but I do want to have one shout out there, Andre, if you allow me to do so.
sure.
Um, we actually just signed a deal with our first jersey sponsor that we've had in a while. So it's big shout out to Mendez Woodworking. He makes custom cabinets, beautiful cabinets. We'll be putting things out there. I mean, he does high end things, and it's amazing with some of the stuff he does in his shop. So we're extremely
Awesome.
happy, and we're grateful for him joining the family.
All right, that's great news, and I'm glad to see the support coming from the local business community, and I'm sure that association together will be mutually beneficial, I'll say.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Well, great news. Great to hear all the details here. Like I say, for the fans out there, we'll have more discussions like this as the season goes on. But Doug Walk, thank you again for getting on our podcast to talk about FC Birmingham, and we look forward to seeing you during the season.
thanks for having me. Thanks, man.